Well, what a way to start the morning. Boy, I always love hitting my mic, and boy, it sounds like a mortar shell going off in the cab of my truck if I do listen back to it. Good morning, Mary. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Running a little late this morning. We've been doing some chicken wrangling this morning. It wasn't that bad. They sure don't want to get out though, and it's you can kind of see, what do you call it? Not dusk. What's the fancy word? Dawn. Hello,
That's
dawn. God, that was so easy.
It's a fancy word.
Oh yeah, here you go, guys. I've been a little slow on the Joe and chasing chickens in the dark. That's not a very good combination, to say the least.
They didn't want to be up yet,
Yeah, no, they didn't, and of course
but I couldn't wait
Yeah.
till a long time to let him
Mm-mm.
out. The rooster. We got a new rooster, y'all.
Yeah.
We never had a rooster before, but we separate them during the day, and then at night whenever the hens go to sleep, we let the rooster go up there and sleep with them, and so we have to separate him out early in the morning before they all realize he doesn't belong there. So
Yeah, and then, well, anybody that's ever raised chickens and just didn't do a free range and just throw them on the farm, like my grandmother, I forget how many roosters, and just alone, Mary, she had. I told you the little story yesterday as a
Yeah.
kid, remember,
Yeah.
and there were so many, and you'd turn the corner and there was always two fighting. They were them banny roosters and them banny hens, and them banny hens, boy, talk about mean when they had them little ones, and they had them chicks. Little bitty chicken man, but she'd spread them wings and she'd just come right at you. Of course, we were just kids, and we ran and we laughed, but it was. So yeah, I mean, it's out there.
Yeah.
We actually have a setup, and we do it so much more. What's the word? Refined.
yeah.
We're moving
Yeah.
moving prisoners from cell
Yeah,
block to
it
cell
is.
block.
It's just like a prison yard.
Yeah, so,
It is.
Yeah, so nobody gets shivved. And boy, I tell you what, they could do some shivving if they wanted to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because they,
And
especially
that's a
him.
big rooster. Oh my goodness. He's half the age of the hens and twice the size, and he's only 4 months old. He is huge.
He's huge, and yeah, he's got some work to do though on his etiquette, and he's got some work to do because he's just a teenager. He's
Yeah.
got some work to do on his tail feathers. So he looks like
Well,
it looks like he got hit by a weed eater or
I
run over
think
by a
no.
lawnmower.
When the lady picked him up to put him in the box so I could bring it home.
He lost some feathers.
Yeah, because the only thing she could do is grab his tail.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
was flapping around. So
Okay, he looks
I
kind of
think
rough in
that's
that
what-
department.
And I found a big tail feather in that box that I brought him home
man.
in. So
Oh well, he'll grow some more.
he'll grow some more. That's right. But we got chicken doctoring to do today.
Yeah, we do.
So
Yeah, boy, when you decide to go ahead and, raise chickens again, there's a lot to it. It ain't just throwing them some corn or some
Nope.
scratch or put some feed out in some water.
it
and
is
that's
for
it.
some people. Some people
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I think the people that free range in a big area
Uh-huh.
and just have a coop for them to go into at night,
night.
I think they have more luck
They have more luck because
there's not all the problems of the run
Yeah,
and all that. But we
That's
did
true.
start free ranging them this weekend, and
we sure did.
they've been
We
out
sure
like
did.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
and
they have. They have, and boy, they love that open yard, man. It's
Yeah.
like, what in the world? They got them. They just thought that 10 by 40 was their rec yard. They got to see the real rec yard. They got to go out into Mother
They do.
Nature.
They enjoy it.
Yeah, they're like, ain't all that grass and stuff.
So, but I
yeah.
think that being confined creates problems like bumblefoot. So,
Yeah, it does. It does.
so
Well, we learned. It's just like anything else. We're going into chicken doctoring here, but it is a staph infection,
Yeah.
and if they get a cut on their foot, and or you were saying any kind of mainly a cut,
well,
and
yeah.
then what the area that they're walking in, even though she keeps it tidy as much as she can,
Yeah.
and she does,
do.
she picks up the chicken poo and what have you, 4 times a day, but yeah, it's just like anybody. Any animal, any person, you're gonna get something if you've got an open wound around something that's just not jiving, and yeah.
So
But we're learning our lesson. But yeah, so bumblefoot is what it's called. She told me, I'm like, what did you just say? Bumblebee? No, Bumblefoot. And so yeah, there's we called the vet, and this is something new to us anyway. It's not it's going to be tedious and a little drawn out, but it's not hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's cleaning.
Other than time and work.
bandaging, and after
yeah.
about 2 weeks, then we're gonna do the surgical part where you remove the scab and the Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah,
You gotta
basically
squeeze that kernel out, and
I know.
then you got another week of wrapping, and
Yeah, people are going, man.
It's about a three week process.
Yeah, it
every
is.
day.
Yeah,
Catching chickens.
nothing like talking about pimple popping on a Sunday morning on our Christian broadcast.
I hate
network.
having to catch chickens. I
Yeah,
wish
that's the
that
worst
they would
part.
just be like dogs and be okay, but no.
And just pick them up. Yeah.
It's-
Boy,
it
she's
is-
right.
it is-
She is right. Yeah.
I wish we had a montage of videos of us trying to catch chickens.
Oh man. And we actually, and it's one thing if you got to try to catch them free range, you're gonna get you exercise. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But we have them in the 10 by 50 and 10 by 40, and then we have another 10 by 20 areas. I mean, they got plenty of room. I kind of feel sorry for the ones that if they put them in a pen and they're not going to let them free range, and it's so small,
Yeah.
and that's where you really get into your problems.
Yeah, that's where I picked the
your health
rooster up
problems,
from.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that
10
makes
by
a big
10,
difference.
yes.
Sure. So I mean that's just something to think about if you're ever thinking about getting any chicken wrangling. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Chicken raising, but it turns into chicken wrangling real quick. But yeah. But we're still getting what, Mama? 4 eggs a day, 3 to 4 eggs a day, even though
Yeah.
it's hot. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all of what we just explained to you in our chicken science category of this portion of our
Yeah.
broadcast. That's why we were late.
Yeah. And we could have been a lot later. We really had
Oh,
more
we
to
could.
do, but we'll do
Yeah,
it. We'll do
yeah.
it in a little while.
The doctor and the soaking, the Epsom salt, and all that
Yeah.
good stuff. But anyway, and I'm sitting here just checking to make sure that I still have all my ducks in a row here, because I kind of just fired this bad boy up in the blind a little bit. But anyway, so your week and what's been going on with you scripturally too. I mean, you were hard and heavy on it yesterday.
Yeah, I was back in John because I hadn't finished it. I hadn't finished before I started going into Revelation
And just kind of
Ezekiel,
right, yeah,
Jeremiah.
and
So
Jeremiah,
I'm going back where I left off.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah. You about wrapped up with John, or?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Just we're getting He is risen.
Mm-hmm.
He is explaining to them.
Yeah.
He's talking to them, fixing to go into the miraculous fish catching.
Oh yeah.
So
oh yeah.
we're getting to the end of John.
Getting to the end of John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something that, for some reason, when I did always do our little promo, as I always say, the day before whatever the podcast, and something that God, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but
Yeah, I watched that
God
yesterday.
spoke to me about, and the words just came to me very simplistic. Just be nice.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
I said that's a lot of saying for so much.
what if you replace nice with kind?
Nice. Well, and I thought about that as we were sitting outside this morning drinking our first cup of
Bleh.
coffee anyway. Not just nice. I mean, replace that or keep that. Humility. That's something that the world needs for sure. But yeah, kind.
Because kind, you
loving.
do something.
Kind, you do
You
something.
do something.
Yeah, that's true. And it can be any little thing, whatever. Well, it's just like you.
But nice is okay. So when I think of nice,
Talk to me.
what I think about is my mouth's gonna start.
Oh, come on. Please
I'm
do.
not.
Please do.
When I think about nice, I think about like passing people and speaking,
Yeah.
making eye contact and
Sure.
speaking and smiling at them.
Yes.
That's nice
That's
to me.
nice, yes.
And nice is a good thing for me to do all the time, and I do that. because I could easily not.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm that way. I could very easily not, and that would be
Not acknowledge
yeah,
which-
because it,
mhm.
you know,
I
but
get it.
since I started working on it a while back,
Yeah.
so I just do it now,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I don't know. I just don't want to. I acknowledge people.
Well,
you
that's
know,
me too.
hello and
Yeah.
good morning and whatever. So
I'm getting to know a handful of people around town just from when on my days off and going to MG Feed
yeah,
and the store. Excuse me, and what have you. So, just like you said in passing, right when I walked into MG yesterday to look to see if they had that particular chicken medicine, we're back on chickens again. You know, there's just the sweetest little couple right there at checking out at the counter, and I just could not walk by without saying good morning and how are y'all? And they just, man, it lit them up.
yeah,
You know, you could tell they probably, the gentleman had a cane, and but he was getting around, and little missus there, she didn't need no cane, boy. She's a little short gal, she just getting all through, but very kind.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was, how can you not?
Yeah.
And plus we're in Weimar, Mayberry, RFD, Texas. I mean, for the most part, a lot of sweet, great, God-fearing
there
people
really
here.
is. I have to say that is very
There really
very
is.
true.
There really is. You go
Yeah,
to our big grocery store, Lowe's, which is
Yeah.
not big.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, how can you not just say
It
hi?
is. It is. And there's something about going in there. I do talk more to people there probably than anywhere else.
Anywhere else? Yeah.
Because yeah, they really the town. My goodness, the town is just like that.
It is like that.
Everybody is so open and friendly, and
Yeah. hmm
I think it's great.
Oh, I do too.
I love
I
it.
do too. And you know, you got to think about it from where, like a lot of other people are, like not growing up, living in the city
Yeah.
in a whole different realm, man. And it's not to say you just have it tougher to do what we're talking about, is what I'm going to say about that. I say tougher. You can be in a city of billions of people and still do what we're doing here in this little town. All I'm saying, Mary, is it's a smaller town. You know you're going to receive.
It's the vibe.
It's the vibe.
It is the
Yeah.
vibe.
So I get it on that part.
Because people make eye contact right away.
Right
you know?
away, right
You know,
away.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's like, it's out of, they're just so, the attitude is so welcoming.
It is.
So-
It is. It most certainly is. So, I mean, you know, it doesn't matter where you're at, but it really is
That's
here.
right.
And we've been here a little over a year. And
Yeah, we went into MG on Friday. Is that Friday? That you were, yeah.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, day before yesterday. And, you again, you walk in and
They know
you
me by
start
name.
talking.
I do.
I'm just like, there he is. There he goes.
There he goes.
There he goes.
Yep. Yep. Country boy just walking on in.
If I wanted to talk, I couldn't have.
Yeah,
you,
right.
You
right.
were talking.
I know, man. I tell you. Well, most of the
That's
time,
just how you are.
it
You're a
is.
big old friendly dog.
well, I am a big old friendly dog, and and the thing is too. Like I said, I'm in there quite often.
Yep.
I am. Well, it's just so easy. It's 2 blocks away, man. And if I need something,
No matter what it is, just about.
I'm going to check there first, and then I'm doing 2 things by doing that. First of all, I'm checking to see if they stock it, and if they do, great. They got my business. If they don't, then I know there's no need to stop there for that particular item again. They just don't keep it. And, so they
Yeah,
kinda, and then I'll head on over to my buddies over there at McCoy's, and then if they don't have it, well, then I wait till I have 2 options: drive an hour, either to Bass Drop or Brenham to get it, or wait till I go back to work and get it after work. So there you go. But anyway, I was no, I mean, being nice, being kind. Whether you're a Christian or not, that's the way to roll. That's my opinion.
Well, it is. Wouldn't it be great if everybody was like that? But
Oh, I know.
and so what's harder is being kind to people who are not being kind to you. You
Yeah.
know, or are being unpleasant in some manner.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm going to put it. Yeah, unpleasant.
Well, and the thing is, if you run across that a lot, especially the more forward you are, and again, stepping out, not just stepping out like we talked in the past about spiritually, as we're called to by God, but just stepping out pure human kindness.
That's right.
And yeah, man, you're gonna get some of that reject, and if you're lucky, the reject is just there's no eye contact and or them saying anything back to you.
Well, I notice people have, if you speak to them, even if they're not, looking at you, or you can tell they're not really caring.
Yeah.
But, most people do at least mumble
Well,
back at you,
they
something,
And something that I always think about now is you don't know what kind of day they've had and or having, what's on their mind, and again, it's just something that I take into consideration.
Yeah. But it's up to us to, kindness is a fruit of the Spirit.
It
That's what
is,
it's given.
it
So we
is.
need to,
And you put,
we need to nurture that. Let it come out at us.
It needs to be there at all times, in my opinion, because let's just say that I am not having a bad day, but maybe I am, or if it's just something real heavy on my mind. I'm looking for something, let's just say in MG or whatever. So in other words, I've got the horse blinders on, so I don't even reach out and say hi, or don't do it. Now, I can tell you this, and because I'm Mr. Talker, if somebody acknowledges me, not only do I acknowledge them back, I give them half of my first 50 years of life story.
I know that. If they even look at you, they don't have to acknowledge you. They just look at you, and there you go.
But no, that's just some things to consider. And what we're talking about here is just human interaction, man, more than anything, starting out. Not even just walking up to somebody and saying, do you know Jesus?
Yeah, I know.
The testifying and all that. Again, what we talk about is just I hate to use the word small talk. It's such a common metaphor, but it is, though. I mean,
is there really any such thing as small talk when you're making a connection with another
well,
human
no,
being?
there's not. I was just thinking of a nicer word, but anyway.
It's you're having interaction.
Yeah, you are. So. You are. So
what are you gonna do next time you say whenever you say to someone, "Hey, how's it going?" and they say, "Right, well, it's not going too well," and that's when kindness comes in.
That's a perfect opportunity to.
Are you gonna stop? Are you gonna stop and listen to this person? And
that's true. That's true. I will. I will. And especially if I know them in passing. In other words, I've already kind of met them. And, here in town especially, because, again...
And what if they say, I don't have any money?
Yeah, that's true. What are you going to do when they ask you that? Are you going to give them some money? Yeah. I know sometimes the first thing that comes to mind is they're going to use it for something bad.
People they say that.
And it's out there. It's out there. I'm not saying it's not, but... Then again, this guy could be super hungry and hadn't eaten in a long time.
But it's not for us to judge one way or another
right.
at all. It says to be generous.
That's true. That's true.
And I think it says if somebody... I can't get it exactly right, but it's in my mind that somehow it says something about if someone needs a loan of money, you should give it to them.
Yeah, well, it's just like all throughout the scripture about giving, not only to... well, everything you're giving is for the grace of God. It's through the grace of God, I should say.
Yeah.
So judging, all that comes into play. We're not God, so we're not judging. And out of the kindness of our heart, through the fruit of the Spirit, we're gonna. Yeah, man, I can give you a little bit here, a little bit there, whatever you need. Mm-hmm. That seems to be the first thing that I always tend to do. And it might not be much, man, but at least it's, I make it relevant enough, and this is just me to think, if they are hungry, well, this is going to feed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of just giving them a whopping amount. And again, I'm not judging. And most of the time I don't carry that much cash on me anyway.
No, I never do.
Yeah, I know. And you always ask me when we need cash. You got cash, Burger? You got cash?
Yeah. Every time we see somebody with a sign.
Yeah. And I always like to keep like a 20 in my wallet just for emergency money, whatever.
I had 15 that I've been carrying around. 3 5s.
Oh, my
I've
goodness.
been carrying it around for quite a few weeks.
Yeah.
But then I used it to buy that chicken. It was $15, and I had that cash. But I carried it, and the reason I had it was in case I come across somebody. Because how
Right.
tragic would I feel?
That's right.
If
That's right.
if somebody needed something and I couldn't help them at all. So that's why I had that 3 5s.
Yeah, well, here's a prime example here from my cousin who just tuned in, Henry Hargrave, over there in Grimes County. Henry says, being kind doesn't cost a thing. Doesn't cost a thing.
No, it doesn't.
Good morning, Henry, by the way. I'm glad you're on.
It's not going to hurt you. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
But I just think about all these, the people that do say, oh, they're just going to, I don't care what they do. That's on them,
Yeah.
That is on them. What
It
is
is
on
on
me is to respond the
Yeah.
best way I can financially.
I saw a need, and just like Henry says, it doesn't cost a thing. I mean, kindness especially, but just it's just there's so much to think about, and where I came up with this being nice, being kind thing is we're talking about something that rarely happens in this world today. If you just stack it up, okay, who would do it, who wouldn't do it, and then let's say you go back 30 years ago, who would be kind, who wouldn't be kind. You see what I'm saying? There's less of that kindness
Oh, yeah.
now compared to
Yeah.
30 years ago, 100
I know
years
it.
ago, and it's not to say that I'm just saying the ratio.
Mm-hmm.
You've always had not kind and God-fearing, non-God-fearing, but it's just,
Well, I think that tends to be the bigger the area, the more the people,
that's, yeah.
the less human interaction happens.
It is, and when you get into a larger multitude of
Yeah.
people, the fear factor comes into play, and what I mean by that is the fear factor of I'm in this situation, so I really need to keep my guard up.
Yeah.
My family, me, my children. There's a lot
Well, I
of bad
think you
stuff
kind of
going
become
on.
anonymous.
And that's the thing. You got all the, and I know, man, because I've grown up in the big city, or I should say, grown up, lived in big cities, lived in countries. It can happen. She still makes fun of me because I lock my doors here in Weimar at night. The truck and.
I don't make fun of you.
Well,
I make comment of you.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm just giving it as an example. Is by living in the big city in the past. That's still one of the things that
when
is,
we lived in Burton,
yeah. No.
and there was no one. You still locked your car. You
Hey.
still locked your truck. And there's no one there.
There's no one there, and it's
No
off the
one
road,
there.
and property was off
yeah,
the road.
Yeah. So I've never gotten into the habit.
Yeah. But
And it's the right thing to do. It is
Yeah,
the right
yeah.
thing to do, but I just feel secure
But-
in not doing it.
But again, just I don't know for a lot of people, I'm going to use the word fear. I'm going to use the word vigilant.
You think fear has something to do with not being? Does that have something to do with not being kind? Because you're having to maybe have to do with people that you don't know.
Don't even know.
Maybe you see someone walking down the road and you think they probably need a ride, but I think that comes into play too.
A bunch it does, Mary. It does a bunch.
But what a great thing it would be if you pulled over and asked somebody and they got in your car and it ended up being someone who desperately needed that and everything was fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me give you a prime example now that you talked about that. A lady friend of mine that was a coach over there where I went to school in Houston. She's retired now. Anyway, she drove back and forth, and she kept seeing every day this same young lady, probably 20s, whatever. Anyway, for the longest time, she would just go by, but as she kept going by each day, she's like, she's going to work, she's doing something, she's on the same route each day anyway. Just to show you that, she was paying attention. And so then I'm just going to fast forward. The next thing you know, she meets this lady. She starts giving her a ride to work, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Giving her a ride to work. And that's what it was. She was going to work.
Of course.
And then the next thing you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and fast forward it, and my friend, and a bunch of her coworkers got her into a vehicle.
Isn't that nice? That is kind.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Not just gave her a ride,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean, you went
That's
beyond
very kind.
and got her a vehicle so that she could not have to walk to work.
That's very nice.
Which, come to find out, she was walking like 5 miles. Yeah, to work.
Oh my!
Yeah,
Bless her heart.
yeah. So bless, you know. That's an example, and so when we were talking about this, you know, yeah, because there's 9 times out of 10 people say I ain't picking nobody up
Yeah.
in the city of Houston or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Let me tell you this story. This was so funny. It wasn't funny. It's just shocking. When McKenna was like 5 or 6 years old, we had gone to the grocery store,
Uh-huh.
and we lived in Burton. And I had a trunk full of groceries, and she's in the back seat, and I'm driving down 290, going west. And on the side of the road is this elderly woman, and I mean elderly. She was 80-something years old.
Yeah.
And she had a big sign, and she was holding it up saying that she needs a ride. And you know, no one was stopping, and you couldn't miss this. This was unbelievably shocking to
Yeah.
have an elderly woman on the side of 290.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
And so I
Yeah.
pulled over, and I didn't even get a chance to ask her, where do you need to go?
She was
or
already
what are you
jumping
doing?
in.
She got right in and
Bless
said
her
she
heart.
needed to go to LaGrange. And I'm like, well, where in LaGrange? She said at the bank. Because, you know, she got her Social Security check, and that's the bank she's been going to forever. So, you know, whenever they're like that, they're not changing anything.
Yeah,
In her
yeah.
mind, she has to go to that bank.
Right.
So, here we go. Load of groceries, a young kid in the back. We went to LaGrange, and we got her in the bank, and she was in there a long time. So I went in there and looked, and
For
she's just talking. She's talking to
Oh,
everybody
wow.
in there.
Yeah, just-
you know,
yeah.
because she's gone there forever, so she knows all these people.
Oh,
and
my.
so she's just chatting. So
Yeah.
I got her to the car because, again, I have a kid and a trunk load full of groceries. So I got her to the car, and she said, okay, now I have to go to HEB.
Uh-huh.
Because that's why I needed to cash my check, and I need to go to HEB. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So I went and got her inside HEB, and she went in there, and I'm outside with McKenna.
Yeah.
And it was a long time. So I went into the store. Again, she's talking to everybody, but she has a cart full of dog food and cat food.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, make room.
Not even any people food.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, that thing is crammed full.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, okay, we need to get going. You know, I
Yeah.
told her, I said,
You got
you
probably
know,
some cold groceries in the truck. Huh? I mean, in your
I
vehicle.
had,
You got
I'll never
everything.
forget it, because I was going to
Yeah.
make pork chops. I had pork chops. I had
Oh,
I had
wow.
everything, and it
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
heat of
yeah.
summertime.
Of course.
So, I mean, I told her that. So, but I helped her finish up her shopping, and we went. And on the way back, I had to ask. I just said, okay, so why don't you do something different? You cannot stand on the side of the road, because there is
Yeah.
no telling.
That's true.
You've got a check in your hand. You've got a purse. You cannot do that. You
Yeah.
don't know who's going to pick you up.
Right.
You know,
right.
had a long talk with her about that, and she, in her mind, well, I have to get there to LaGrange to cash my check. You know, and I told her, you know, all you have to do is go to HEB and go to the customer service department, and they can cash your check, or
Right.
get a little account somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
In Brenham, whatever. But and then when we got to the house, it was just so sad, because she had so many cats and dogs inside her house. I
Oh,
could hear
no.
them.
Yeah.
They were at every window looking, and I'm like, there is a lot of animals
Lot
in
of
here.
animals,
And she
yeah.
wouldn't let me in the house. I helped her. I
her
packed
stuff
all
up.
the animal food and put it on her porch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, this is not okay. This lady is living with all these animals in this house. It's not
Yeah.
okay for the animals.
It's not okay
for
for
her.
her. Right.
None of this is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just felt like part of me wanted to like call some kind of authority and explain the situation. But then I
Yeah.
thought, how do I do that to her?
Yeah.
How do I
yeah,
do that to
yeah,
her?
yeah.
And so I said, let me think about it. And I continue to think about it, and I never did anything. But she doesn't live there anymore
Yeah,
because every
yeah.
time I drive by there, I can see that
What?
she doesn't live there anymore.
Yeah. No.
So
Well.
it was terrible.
Mm. Yeah.
So
yeah.
why did I tell that story? Because we were talking about being afraid to pick people up.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but it just goes to show you, though, if you do, and what you learn or what you can, just do. And I'm not even saying about just getting all into anything. Just giving a lift of some. Again, it's changed. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
It's changed so much, and but we found it out of the kindness of our heart more than once to do it. I've done it. It's been a long, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's been a long time for me since I've actually picked somebody. I couldn't tell you the last time I picked somebody
Yeah.
up. Now, as far as going out and, or like you said, the people there at the, especially in Houston, man, and Katie, the people at the stop sign with the signs.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw one of those, my daughter was with me, and we had made some runs around Katy for something. I don't know what it was. And then she goes, "Dad, I'm hungry." So, wouldn't you know it, there's the Taco Bell right there on the corner, conveniently located. So we run through there and we just get a little something so we can eat on the run, get back home. And as soon as we wheeled out and pulled up to the light, and I'm in the middle lane fixing to go straight instead of hanging right, and there's a guy on the right. He's hungry, and so basically she makes me turn around, and well, she makes me, I say that, I agree, but she brought it up. You need to turn around, you need to go get him some food. And so we did. So we went back through the drive-through, we got a meal of some sort, pulled on the road, got in the right lane, gave him the food. He grabbed that food, he walked from that light, that corner of the street, all the way up under some shade trees and ate it. He was hungry.
That's good.
And so that was my daughter that caught that. I didn't even, I was just had the, again, I had the horse blinders on. I was looking ahead and ready to get back to Austin
Yeah.
County.
Yeah.
So that's another one that I can think of that comes to mind. So yeah. Now let's talk about being kind when, kind. Let's talk a little bit about being kind when it's not necessarily the time not to be, or they're not being kind. Do you keep going, or let's say if you get a little ruffle, or let's put it this way: what if it's a family member and you can tell they really need to be talked to, but they don't want to be talked to? How do you handle that? I'm just curious. Come on, even just put it in a generic way if you can't think of anything off.
Like they don't want to talk to you?
No, they don't want to talk about. Let's say you're being kind. Let me rephrase that. You're
Yeah.
being kind. They're not in the mood to be kind because if you really were to, first of all, show your love and compassion and your kindness, and maybe even say something from the book or spiritual, not verbatim, but just
Yeah.
throw in a little bit of the Lord into them, but they're just not in the mood. What would you do? Just leave it be for the time being? Or?
Yeah. I would be respectful. I don't
Well, and
want-
I'm not saying throw the book at them. I'm just saying just some kind of something to just nudge it in there to see if they'll bite or not.
Well, I think I would say something like, I respect that you don't want to hear about it. It's just that this has brought so much joy to my life and has changed my life so much. I talk about it a lot, but I don't want to disrespect you.
That's what I was looking for. And and you could even go as far as naming off pretty close to a particular situation.
Yeah.
In other words, a testimony example, but
Of
short
course,
and
because
sweet.
you're gonna talk a
Yeah,
book instead of
I
a
know.
sentence.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
gonna talk a sentence.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking you, because not only
I'm
is
gonna shorten that way out.
not only is the Holy Spirit my coach, but you are too. So yeah. But no, and what we're getting at, guys, so many different scenarios, Mary, in life, as you're doing your Christian walk, guys, and stepping out. There's so many I say there's so many opportunities. I've had so many opportunities here lately, and I thank the Lord for that. but you might not.
Well,
get a
I
lot
think,
of
okay,
opportunities.
so my prayer would be that I walk in kindness
Yes, yes. Come on.
and pray for an opportunity.
Here you go.
So,
Mhm.
because as we all know, I am practicing on not delaying my responses
You are.
to be helpful or kind or what do what needs to be done.
Right, yeah.
So
Mhm.
instead of thinking about it
There you go.
and not letting myself get in the way of that.
Yes. And so especially when you get an opportunity, you don't shun it away.
You don't
because
try
it-
to rationalize it in your head or
Mhm,
have
too
it make
much.
sense in your head because it's not that. It's love your neighbor.
Mhm.
There it is.
Yeah,
Do
it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much. Again, there's just so much to it, and then there's so much not to it. You know where I'm going with that.
No, I have no. Believe me, I have
No,
no
I
clue.
mean, there. For somebody that's wanting to reach out and do what God's calling them to do and testify, and wherever they're at, or big city, small town, none of that really, and it does not matter. Don't get me wrong, it does not matter. But getting back to what you said, man, they're going to rationalize, and what the particular situation, what is this person doing or not doing, or you know what I'm saying? And if you rationalize it too much, then you're just going to miss the opportunity.
That's exactly right.
That's what I'm getting at.
That's right.
'Cause
That's
they-
right. Because Satan's going to be in your head
Don't say
talking
nothing.
about that, putting those very things into your head.
Yeah.
So you have to really. The quicker you can react when you know you need to, then
Yeah.
the less chance you have. Just like with that man carrying his groceries to the car that day. I was standing there trying to use my own brain to figure it out.
Yes.
If I was going to go forward
Yeah.
but then that lady jumped in my way when
Yeah,
I decided to go forward because she didn't hesitate. That's the thing.
No, she didn't.
She saw him and told her husband, "Come on, let's go help that man." Where
Yeah.
I was standing there going, "Okay, I'm thinking about going to help him. Okay, yeah, I'm fixing to," and then she
Boom.
jumped right there.
That's exactly.
And I felt so like such an idiot.
Yeah.
I really did.
So I mean that's, and I'm not just talking about you and I, man. I'm talking about just anybody and in a situation, especially if they're new, to starting to bear fruit and do what they're doing. So yeah, so it can get any and all of us. But praying about it. That's beautiful, Mary. Praying in other words, saying, Lord, I'm ready. So bring on the next one. You know.
I would be saying more like, help me recognize the opportunities and the people around me,
There you go.
and be sensitive to something that they might need,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
help me to follow it
And respond quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm just messing
yeah.
with you.
That's true though.
Yeah, but it's and that's the thing, guys. Is there's a lot to it, but that's why we're talking about it, and we're talking about it from our personal experiences here lately, and I hope it helps some, a little bit, because it's a lot to
It's
think
just a
about.
discussion, and
It's just a discussion.
do you
that's
have some
all it
scripture
is.
or something today?
Well, basically not really, because other than just, I mean, I could break out a scripture on kindness, but anyway, I'm not. No, I mean, we're just talking to the Lord through our, just daily lives, and of course, very important to eat your spiritual food, guys. And that's we stem on about us each and every podcast and every day is being in the scripture and listening to God speak and follow the Holy Spirit, not only in our own lives, but to share the Lord in other people's lives. So there you go.
There you have it.
When I was just looking, it's been a whirlwind of a morning, which is great. But between chickens and then us just talking about something that I think is always a great topic to talk about is, sharing the word and, just being kind.
Yes, and
Being
I
humble.
always remember what goes to my mind is the old song we used to sing in church. Whatever you do for the least of my brother, that you do unto me.
There you go.
So
go.
I always think about that. I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
think about that. Just
Mhm.
that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
That's why I really want to help where I can.
Sure.
And even when I think I can't, quit thinking about it and just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah, right. I know. And especially where we're at, and like the gentleman at the grocery store and the water and all that. You got it. It's refinement. It's refinement in a sense. So yeah, I mean, yeah. The only other thing that I could say is, besides just trying to help people out, is just remember you're fulfilling your ministry, in the sense that God's called you, like us, called us to minister
Yeah.
through here, but especially in person. So
Yeah, and you're a child of God.
and-
Walk like you're a child of God.
yeah, fulfill your ministry, man. Fulfill your ministry. I can say that, and that would go to 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Read that. I read it a couple of podcasts ago. But that'd give you something to chew on this morning. It's a good one, and just keep reading. 2 Timothy's great, man.
Yeah.
Like it really is. But yeah, yes, ma'am. I wanted to just thank everybody again for tuning in. All of our new listeners, Mary. We actually have to go now and become chicken veterinarians.
Yes.
And go take care of our birds. But yeah, guys. Just a nice, light, airy.
I hope we weren't boring.
I know,
I
yeah,
hope we were
I know.
not boring, but
Sometimes we just.
yes,
yeah.
it's just still it's that early morning thing.
It's that early morning
It is. I
thing.
think we do better on Wednesdays.
We do,
than
we
on
do.
Sundays.
You know, the thing is, once again, I'm not going to say we're going to do it right away, but down the road we could push this up again. We used to do it at 10 o'clock or something like
In
that
the
on
morning?
Sundays. Yeah, I mean,
I
but
don't remember.
I don't know, but we'll talk about it. We'll see. Either way, we're here live, guys. We're here live, and then, like I said yesterday on the promo, all of our podcasts stay in the loop on all of our platform pages, so you can always go back and check out another one anytime, including this one when everybody gets up a little bit later on. The sane people, the city people, anyway, and not the farm people, the chicken people. But we're going to let y'all go, and y'all have a blessed and righteous day. Mary, have a blessed and righteous day. You're going to have one right here with me. So
Be
anyway,
kind, y'all.
Be kind, guys, and help when you can. And there you go. Y'all take care. We'll see y'all Wednesday at 7.
Bye bye.